Okay, so I've got 30 minutes left in my battery to record this. This will be interesting. So this is going to be my first unboxing. I'm going to give it a go. It's of the MSI H77MA-G43 main board, or more commonly referred to as a motherboard. This is a Micro-ATX H77 board, as it kind of does it. It supports the new 22nm CPUs, so that's like the 3rd gen i5s and i7s and i3s when they eventually get released. It supports AMD Crossfire, is compatible with Windows 7, which is obvious, and it supports any CPU that's 1155 basically for socket. It has the OC Genie 2 apparently, 1 second overclocking. Click BIOS 2, which is their like UEFI BIOS. It is amazing. I have it on my main rig because my main rig one's a MSI H79 2011 board, and yeah, it is amazing. And it also has PCI Express Gen 3 support. So we'll have a look in that bit more detail. So let's see. It's got the world's first UEFI and software graphical user interface. So basically, this is if you're in Windows or in the actual BIOS, it looks identical, as you may be able to see in the picture. I'm not too sure. Yeah, it has the 1 second overclocking. The ability to save your OC profiles onto like external storage. That's helpful, I suppose, to some people. And personally don't even bother overclocking that much now. I used to, but now I just can't be bothered. I'm too lazy. All new gaming optimized core architecture. I'm not exactly sure what benefits this brings. I know for a fact that I can't remember if it was Asus or Gigabyte Nerd graphical BIOS that I when using the gaming mouse the mouse only went side to side. No matter what you done, so no matter how you moved the mouse, it would only go from side to side on the screen. So it never worked basically. So that might be mean, cause I don't know if it's because it's so sensitive or something. So maybe that's optimizing it a bit more. So let's have a look at the specifications, just because it does give something away in it. So yeah, it supports the 3rd gen i7, i5s and i3s, Pentium, Celeron processors for the 1155 socket. It has 4 DIMMs to support 32 gigs of RAM. It has one PCI Express 3.0, so Gen 3 slot, in 1x2 slot. That's all I want to have a look at really. Gigabit internet, Ethernet, 7.1 channel audio, 3 gigabit a second to 6 gigabit a second. Yeah, okay. The rest of it is not really valid. I can show you it on the actual board instead. So, opening the box, we have I/O shield. They're M connectors, which are basically just front panel connectors basically. They just allow you, so it's easier, so you can basically, instead of being inside the case and fiddling with the front panel connectors, you just get the front, you can do it on these and then plug it in just one brick instead of each of the different connectors. 2 SATA 6 gigabit a second port cables. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera, but they do say on that back bit there. If I keep moving it, eventually it will come into view at one point. It does say SATA 6 gigabit a second, I assure you. Quick installation guide, which is absolutely massive. Don't even think I'll be able to unfold this and keep it in the screen. I don't think my lens is wide angled enough. So yeah, it's massive basically, and that's like a quarter unfolded. drivers and utilities. Normally people try to throw these away, but countless of times I've had Windows, for some reason after doing a new build, I've installed Windows from scratch and it hasn't installed the LAN drivers. It doesn't install any LAN drivers, so I can't get any internet connection. And if you don't have another computer where you can and a memory stick where you can download them drivers from MSI, having the driver disk is extremely helpful. So don't throw that away, just in case you do need to install the LAN drivers from disk, and you don't have a second computer or whatever. You know, these things happen. So you got a user manual, but it's for 3 different boards. It's for the Z77MA-G43, Z75MA-G43, and the H77MA-G43. Okay, so this is going to be a very generic user manual, and you can tell if it supports 3 different ones. Nice sheet of cardboard, and onto the board itself. After 6 minutes, throw the box over there. Get the board out of its anti-static bag. Turn the board around so it's sort of more in line. Zoom you in a bit. Okay, so we've got a 4-pin for there for your CPU. We've got heat sinks with MSI branding on. This no sort of fancy design on these heat sinks like you get on the higher end motherboards. They're literally just there. We have a CPU fan header, 4-pin. Then we have 2 additional system fan headers, which are both 4-pin as well. We have the 1155 socket, which if I open it, you'll find 1155 pins. So I'll just wait here while you count them to make sure I'm correct. Okay, no, not really. That's going to take ages. If you want to count them, you can. Just pause the video at an earlier point. Interestingly enough, the cover has LGA 1150X, so obviously they make it for both 1155 and 1156 in that cover. Now you've got your 4 DIMMs, your 24-pin, loads of jumpers all over the board. You got front panel USB 3. This is a bonus. I love seeing this on because this board is basically a low-end basic board. So to see front panel USB 3 is amazing. Because if I remember correctly, on the 60 series chipset, so like P67, Z68, and P6, you know, on them lower end boards, on the H77 boards and stuff, you never saw front USB 3 on like the low end basic board, so it's brilliant to see them. You've got a little bit there. If I move that up close to the camera, it says connect your SSD to the native SATA 6 gigabit a second ports, which is SATA 1 and SATA 2, to unleash the extreme performance. That is these 2 white ones. They're the SATA 2 SATA 3 6 gigabit a second ports, and they're the 4 are SATA 2 ports. Here you've got your front panel connections, 3 front USB 2 headers, front panel audio, built-in speaker, Cmos battery. Here is your PCI Express Gen 3 slot, times 16 slot, 2 PCI Express times 1 slots, and your PCI Express Gen 2 times 16. And here you have PS2 for mouse and keyboard, gigabit Ethernet, if I keep it in the camera, 4 USB 2, 2 USB 3, video outputs of VGA and DVI, and your 7.1 audio. So that pretty much concludes the board. There's nothing I think I've missed. So if I just put it back down, I'll move the camera around to give you a closer look at the board in a second. I'll drop that in a sec. So thanks for watching this unboxing video of the MSI H77MA-G43, and please subscribe, like, comment and all that brilliant stuff. And if you have any negative opinions, keep them to yourself. I'm only joking. If you have any, to tell me, and I'll try and adjust these videos. These videos are work in progress, so just let me know. So yeah, thanks for watching and goodbye.